What's up, guys? Jaxel here. Putting another video together to show the update to XenTorneo for Zen 402. Now, if you've used the old version, you pretty much know how it works. There have been a lot of changes to this version. It's taken me a month to program it so far. So let's show some of that stuff. All right. So add-ons installed. First thing I'm going to do is go to user group permissions and make sure all my permissions for XenTorneo 2 are set up properly. You definitely want to do this first, especially before you import data from the old version. Uh, Make sure you have bypass event moderation on your account if you're an administrator, especially before you import, because otherwise you're going to be importing all your events into the moderation queue. And then, of course, the import function is right here in the import data section. So let's continue that. And let's input all the required data. I'm not going to show this, so let's pause the video and I'll continue back up on the next step. All right, now we're on the next step. We're going to import everything. Now, XenForo's importer requires you to have a log table. I don't use it. I wish I could disable this function, but I haven't figured it out. So I just put in a dummy table, and it's just irrelevant. And I'm going to continue. All right, and let's keep continuing. Let's start import. And there we go. This should only take about another minute eventually. All right, it's done. Now you should click finalize import here. Let's do that on another tab because finalize import is going to rebuild all the caches on in your forum, and that's going to take quite a bit. So there we go. Let's click finalize, and now it's going to process for the next 10 minutes. So while we are doing that, let's look at some of the other stuff. First, let's look at our options. Show league, show the navigation, some side loading stuff, basic settings. A little bit simpler than the old version, so not really much to talk about there. We've got our categories. Categories can be set up how you like. All right. We've got our leagues. And now I have 2 main leagues and 2 sub leagues. Let's look at Soul Calibur 5. Let's edit this league. Now, one of the things that is different is the way images are handled in the XenTorneo 2. In the old version, you had to upload the files, the icons for the leagues directly from your FTP. Now I have uploading function built directly into the edit screen. You can change it right here. You can add administrators, etc. But there is a new option here for which type of ranking system you wish to use. Now, ATP is how the old version worked. Now, I think ATP is an excellent system. If you're doing a local league, you should. My recommendation is to stick with ATP because it's high accuracy, etc. Things like that. But for our large league, so for instance, let's go back to my official website, and we have our leagues here. And with the ATP rankings, the major problem is if you don't have enough events happening in your community at a consistent rate, ATP begins to break down. So what I implement is the ELO system, and ELO works exactly as you would expect it to do. Matches are graded based on how you do against other players in the tournament. Now, there is a downside to using ELO here. ELO can only grade people it knows in the ranking system. So if you have players in your tournament who do not have accounts on your ranking system or on your forum, then no matches they play will be credited in the ELO ranking system, which means anyone they play against will also not receive credit in the ranking system. So, for instance, let's say you have one of the best players in the world who is not in your ranking system, and then another player comes along and beats them at one of your tournaments. Because one of the players in that match are not in the ranking system, no one's going to get credit for that match, and that's just how ELO works. And there's no real way around it. With ATP doesn't care about individual matches. It only cares about final event results. So even if only one person in the entire tournament has an account on your ranking system, that one person will still get credit for how they do in the tournament in ATP. But like I said, ATP falls apart in big unorganized leagues. So ATP, I recommended more for your sub leagues. Like let's say you have your, like the way I do it here is we got Soul Calibur 5. This is just going to be all the events for Soul Calibur 5 throughout the world. Now, let's say we also have a weekly. So my community has a weekly that happens every Tuesday night at the Break in Denellen, New Jersey. What we're going to do is we're going to have a specific ATP ranking just for that league. So instead of being all the matches for Soul Calibur 5, it'll be only the matches for Soul Calibur 5 at my weekly tournament. And that's much better for ATP because then I can say, hey, let's only calculate the most recent 6 events in a 3-month long period. So people will get credit for their top 6 scores in the past 3 months. So as long as they attend, 6 events out of 13 or 14, they will be getting their maximum score. And if they attend more than that, they have a chance to negate some of their bad beats if they've had a bad day or anything. But this one is a global league, so we're going to switch it to ELO. I'm going to do the same thing with our Soul Calibur 2 league. All right. Now on the screen, you can also edit the teams for the league. And like the images for the league, the images for your teams are also going to be uploaded through a form system. So you may have to do this after your imports because it's not using the same folders as the old version. So you're going to have to take care of this on your own. It's a one-time process, so shouldn't take that much effort. All right, so we've got our events as well. All the events have been imported. Still processing. All right, so let's go to front of site and go to our ranking system. And we have, I did the import before and the calculation before. That's why it already has rankings here. Soul Calibur 2 does not, so let's update those rankings. There we go. All right, front page. We've got our rankings. Let's look at the rankings. We've got number of players in our league. Ignore these broken icons. It's because this is my dev forum and I haven't imported the user icons. All right, so league here. We can say let's view all events in this league. And you can see what service they're on. So this was Smash GG. These were Challenge. You can say, let's look at all the matches in this league. Who won. As well as character usage. Now, like before, we've got specific filters. So if we go to events, we can add some filters. We can say, let's show only events that are part of a major. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's say only events worth at least 2,000 points. There we go. And we've got our filters right here. You can remove them one by one, as well as add more relevant filters. And the same thing with teams. We can say, let's see only character usages at majors. Or, 2,000. Let's see. Only character uses at events worth at least 2,000 points. There we go. We can increase that to 5,000. Let's see what happens. All right. And it just updates. We can say, let's view only characters used by a specific player. There we go. I don't really attend majors for Soul Calibur 5. Wasn't really that much of a fan of the game. Anyways, so I've only used one character, so that's me. Then, of course, I can see all my results, all the matches I've played, how I've done. In matches, I can see how I've done against specific players. So let's go. Jaxel versus Ramon. He's beaten me 4 times, and I've only beaten him once. Ay, fuck you, Ramon. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse there. All right. So that's a basic presentation. All right, let's click Submit Event. And we have our Challenge, Smash CG, and CSV records. CSV records, it's got an example of how it works down there. But you'll notice something's missing here, and that is TO Pro. And that's because, unlike the old version, which if we click Submit over here, we have a TO Pro option. TO Pro doesn't actually exist anymore. The website doesn't go anywhere. You can't download the software anymore. It just doesn't exist. So I opted not to spend the time programming an API for it. All right, so let's go to my challenge subdomain. Let's take an event, and let's submit this to the brackets. All right, this was at The Break in Dunellen, New Jersey. Let's put this in Soul Calibur 5. Yes, I know it says Dragon Ball Fighter Z, but I don't have one of those leagues. Let's add it to the sub-league, and this is a weekly event. 12 entries, $10 entry fee, custom distribution earnings I'm not changing. Media, I can add media, but I'm not going to do that. Results, full list right there. Matches, full list right there. All right, let's click save. And there we go. Here is the event. We've got, it's not finalized yet, so we can still add results if we need to. But until an event is finalized, it won't show up in any rankings. It won't even show up in the events list. So let's look at the events list, and it is not there because it is technically in the unfinalized events queue. So let's finalize the event. There you go. And everything is finalized. We can look at the matches. And we can edit. So let's say KD Zaster. Let's say he used Pirha. And let's click save. And there we go. Now his account is linked. It's got his character usage. Let's also use a claim. Now, I'm the person who submitted this event. So as I go through the claim process, I'm going to receive alerts from both sides. So let's say I'm going to claim the result for Mangy Chu. Let's do that. And I just received an alert. The alert says Jaxel is claiming the result for Mangy Chu. Let's click that. And right on this page itself, I can process the claim, accept or reject it. Let's accept it. There we go, updated. And I received another alert from the other side saying your claim for Mangy Chu has been accepted. Fantastic. Nice claim system. Keeps it easy to understand what's going on. All right. So let's look at a previous event. Let's look at NEC 18. I uploaded this image as a test, so that's why some of these images are kind of stupid. And we've got some videos for it. And the videos are actually being pulled from the media linked to specific matches. So let's say, hey, I want to see Blue Boy versus Ufmatic, I can click that and see the video right there. And they're also shown directly above the fold in this nice slider. All right, so let's show another submit function. This one, we're going to go Smash GG. Smash GG is a bit different. I'm going to go Evo Japan. And the reason why I'm picking Evo Japan is because it's an example of one of the limitations I'm going to explain with Smash GG. All right, so since we link to an event and not to a specific bracket, it's asking us which bracket we want to submit. Now, I know for a fact that the biggest event at Evo Japan this year was Street Fighter V. So I'm going to click submit on that. Now, before I click submit, or confirm for this matter, I'm going to give a warning here. I'm going to click now. This is going to take a while because Smash GG's API, this is going to take 83 seconds around that area. Smash GG's API is terrible. It has not changed in years. I've complained about it. They're not really going to fix it. The thing about Smash GG is in order to get the list of matches for an event, you need to ping their API one time for each pool in the tournament. Now, Street Fighter V at EVO had 341 pools, which means we actually have to ping their API for information on this tournament 342 times. And now that's going to take about 83 seconds. And it means we're just banging on the Smash GG server as we do this. Thankfully, there's no rate limits on the Smash GG server. I wouldn't be surprised if they add them because of this kind of issue. But really, what they need to do is fix their API so this isn't an issue. So here we go. We're waiting. EVO Japan 2018 Street Fighter V. There we go. It finished. How many seconds did it take? 76. I was close. It's generally always taken me 83 as I've done this test. All right. So we've got organizer. That would be me, although that would not be the case. So let's just say Shoryuken is the organizer. Venues right there, pulled directly from the database. Let's add this to Soul Calibur 5. Let's not add it to my sub-league. We're going to call this a major. Now in mine, I have separations for if majors are separated between pools and finals. In this case, from Smash GG, it's a single event with all the results. Double elimination, 2,217 players at $10 a piece. Media, we've got no media because Smash GG doesn't have bracket images. We've got the full list of results. It is long. And now even longer, the full list of matches. And we're just running it down. All right. So, I mean, all the data's there. And we're gonna do about 3,000 database connections right here as soon as we click save. And we'll see how long that takes to process. With my slow dev site. Hey, not too long. It took 0.2 seconds. All right, so it only took 0.2 seconds to actually do those database interactions. Sure. I believe that. Not really. It felt like 2 or 3 seconds, but that could just be my server acting up. It tends to do that. All right, so we've got all our results right here. We can browse to different pages in line, add more results if we wanted to, which we're not going to. And we're going to click finalize, click submit. All right, event finalize. We've got our matches list with 89 pages of matches. And the reason why this old image is showing here is because I didn't clear some cache data from my database when I submitted. So just, pretend this bad image isn't here. And that's pretty much how the system works. If you've used it before, it's pretty simple. So yeah. Anyways, peace out.